So that they can perform.
So that they can be patriotic.
So what you're suggesting is
No, I ain't suggesting anything.
all right, okay, man. I'm trying to be politically correct.
Okay.
All right, give me a break. What you're saying?
All right, I'm listening.
What you're saying is the people that design these tests design them with an intention in mind.
The intention in mind that the designers of the test have to design the test for now is to get contracts. The way they get contracts, they want to deal with publishing companies. They want to deal with textbook companies who are publishing companies. All these things now, who do you have to deal with? You have to deal with state governments because the states are in control of education.
That'd be Texas and California, big consortiums.
Well, yeah, but see, California goes whatever way Texas goes. Or
Because
whichever company, because they've got a large population. And when you got a large population, they buy a lot of textbooks.
So you can control the, I see what you're
It's
saying.
crazy because we used to get our books trickled down, and it never was enough books. But they be like, "Hey, we got 20-something books, and it's 30-something of them."
We got the schools?
Yes, just
Yeah,
I mean,
public schools.
No, that was some more stuff that you don't really understand yet. It's going to take you some time to figure this out.
hand me
When
that.
you say you used to get them trickled down, see, what I remember was the blueback speller getting trickled down. How much did the blueback speller cost initially when it was brand new?
You mean back in your day?
Period, yeah, when it was actually being published and sold.
10 cents.
10 cents. That was the cost, 10 cents. But yet, that was what you received, and you received, and in the book, there were names in the book of everyone who had owned the
Yeah.
book prior to you.
Yeah.
You got the book in the first grade. And you kept that book from the first grade to the 8th grade. Whenever you went to your Spanish, or your spelling lesson, you pull out your spelling book. Your name was in your spelling book. If you were to lose your book, it would cost you 10 cents
It's odd.
to get another one.
Never saw a blueback speller till I met you.
That's because between 1958 and 1968, they took them out of the schools.
So they start phasing them out.
Yes.
Okay.
I had one when I was
Yeah.
Yeah, you about, what, about
Well,
12,
the object
14
was to guarantee a population that in the future would not be able to read. And that's what they succeeded in doing. That's all they were trying to do, was to guarantee a population that would not be able to read.
Man, that's hard for people to accept.
Fine, don't accept it. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't
And
care.
it's hard to believe.
Don't believe
I
it.
mean, why would they want to do that to so many people? Why
Well, it's
would not-
because they did not agree with Brown versus the Board of Education. And they had to come up with a plan in order to make sure that the elements of Brown versus the Board of Education would not be accomplished.
No, Al, I ended up having to apologize to him because I was one of those that was exactly what you said. I just didn't, you couldn't get me to believe that.
Well, they keep you
Until
from
I
living.
read it.
They
I
keep you
pulled up
from.
a document about Mississippi, it was about the state of Mississippi's education program and how they had very specific plans for the Negro children to learn.
And here's what's so weird.
They still do.
It was the Negro children
Negro children.
that could read. It was not the other side of town.
We ain't been
Why?
dumbed down.
Why?
Because they were using Noah Webster's process of orthography from the time they started having schools. And because they had never had schools, they felt that the most important thing that they could do was to make sure that their children learned how to read and how to learn and how to understand. And they were adamantly going for it. They're the ones that came up with colleges. Colleges didn't come to the other side of town until World War II.
Wait a minute, hold on, Doc.
What is it?
Now, you're suggesting
I'm
that-
not suggesting anything.
So let me say it my way. You're saying that before World War II, the predominance of colleges were colored colleges?
Yes.
Well, what about colleges like Harvard and Preston and?
No. You're going somewhere else now.
Mhm.
Those were the real schools that were in this country before this country became a country.
That would be correct.
And that was for the aristocracy, right?
That was for whoever could pay
Yeah.
the fees to go to school.
Yeah. And
Now you're coming up with whoever could pay.
Whoever could pay.
Well, how were colored children able to pay for those rash of schools that came up in that time?
They were all missionary church related.
Well, now there's two different questions.
Okay.
And what she just said was that a lot of the colleges that before and during the Land Grants Act, and we're all familiar with the Land Grants Act, right?
Lemoyne on.
That Lemoyne is a land grant school.
Lane.
Lane is a land grant school. Mills is one. A number of the schools. I think Pine Bluff was one.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Tennessee State was one.
Tougaloo. all
Tougaloo was one.
This is after 1865. This is what era are we talking?
We're talking about 1868,
Okay.
around that little time period.
Wait a minute.
Doing
This was like right after, like 1865. They right after 1865, because I know Tougaloo College is
Was
1869.
Tuskegee land grant college?
Yes.
Is that one of the diploma from TSU says agriculture?
Yes.
In industrial.
I didn't
Right,
know that. I
right.
was wondering.
Tennessee was
A&I.
Tennessee A&I.
Yeah.
Mississippi had Mississippi M&I.
Pine
Pine Bluff was AM&N. That's agriculture, mechanical, and normal.
Normal's teaching.
Normal was just you're learning. You're just getting a normal education.
Normal. I did that. Memphis State was a normal.
Yeah, but what they used that word was in place of
Liberal arts.
liberal arts.
Okay.
Liberal arts was the liberal arts school was the Swarthmore. Swarthmore went into place because of the Quakers. Dartmouth. These were the schools that actually came into place after the original schools. The original schools were Harvard,
Mm-hmm.
Yale,
Princeton.
Princeton.
Mhm.
Those were real
Brown.
schools.
All
real
right.
schools.
Okay.
William and Mary.
Those were real schools.
Colgate.
The older schools were real schools. Now the thing is, there wasn't a lot of these places, and white folks wasn't going to school. That's y'all's dumbness to go for this nonsense. You're the ones that's been believing
In
all that
other words,
nonsense.
somewhere I believe that everybody could read.
Everybody could not read at the start of the so-called British insurrection or the American Revolution. Maybe 1 out of 10 people could read. Maybe. And at the end of the Civil War, very few white people could read.
So illiteracy was the norm, quote unquote, among so-called white.
Among white people. At the end of the Civil War, what is really amazing here, especially between 1865 and 1900, I think Bois gave a Jubilee speech in 1910. And he said, at the Jubilee speech, he said, well, no, he eventually developed a strategy talking about the talented 10th. But at the Jubilee, what he was talking about was all the farms that black people owned, all the businesses that black people own. But more than anything, all of the schools that had been developed for their children to go to. That's what he was talking about. He said that this population had come from zero relative to being able to read, to where 70% of that population could read.
And that was more than the European.
Wait a minute. You keep saying the Europeans. When were they Europeans?
They wasn't, I guess.
No, I'm curious. I'm asking everybody. When were they Europeans?